I meant to make this video yesterday, but I was just really tired and busy with school and work. It just wasn't a day for me to cam up. I did not feel my best. Though I'm glad I did, because Dallas Goedert has come out and talked about the exact topic that I was talking about yesterday. And it's the fact that despite how we feel about Sirianni, despite how we feel about this Eagles coaching staff as of right now being headed by him, this team, the players, everybody, they're in full belief of what Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, what they've all brought together, what their plan was in the offseason, making all these changes, bringing Sirianni back in a role that hopefully, which I believe now more than ever, is benefiting the players on the field. It might not be showing as far as, the situational decisions that he's making, but that's a Sirianni thing. I'm talking about how the players view him. I haven't seen anybody showing any sort of issue with him yet. I haven't seen anything where there's a clear disconnect between him and Hurts and how to run the offense, or like Devontae and him chirping on how to utilize wide receivers properly in a must-win game against the Giants in December, things like that. I haven't seen anything like that, and now Dallas Goedert himself is saying that we back him and we're following him no matter what the people, the media, anyone wants to say. And I feel like the Saints game really proved that. Vic Fangio came out and laid out the line for the defense, and the defense executed to a T perfectly. Like, so good. Offensively, you saw the offense struggle to put up points. They were moving the ball really well against the defense that we thought we'd have trouble with without AJ, and then eventually without Lane Johnson, without, I'm blanking on his name, but another O-lineman, and then without Devontae Smith. So, down a lot of key figures in a must-win situation where last week we, realistically shit the bed on offense and on defense. You saw a team come out and execute perfectly in a way that I haven't seen them do since the Buffalo Bills game, since that whole stretch of games against the Cowboys and the Dolphins and things like that back in October into early November, before we went on our bye week, before we came out against San Francisco and we came out flat and everything just looked discombobulated. This team is fully backing him, and as long as that stays consistent, this team can really do some damage once they get healthy again. I know we feel differently as a fan base about Nick Sirianni, and trust me, I'm with you on that 100%. His criticism still has to be there no matter what, because of what's been going on for the last 8 months of football. It's been ugly. It's been bad, and it hasn't really changed a whole lot just yet. But if the players are still fully behind him and there's no issues in the locker room and we're seeing it on the field, everyone's laying it all out on the line, that's all I need. That's all I need to believe in what this team sees in the coaches and how they feel about themselves, pushing themselves back into January, pushing them back into the playoff contenders picture. And I'm okay with it. I just need to see Nick Sirianni do some more better decision-making in the situations where you need to be smart about what you decide to do, especially in moments that can change the game entirely. Like, you have to have a feel for the game. You can't just be solely dependent on the analytics. I brought up one person to my father because it reminded me of when the Phillies had this guy as their manager, and he did some good things after he got fired, but then he got fired again. Gabe Kapler. When he was here in Philly, I feel like despite our bullpen issues, we had a few missing pieces on the field, obviously, he relied solely on analytics to distinguish between, not to distinguish, but to determine whether or not this pitcher should go here or there. It was less strategic and more, this is just the easy way for me to do this. It makes sense and it's supposed to work. And it never did. And the Phillies with Kapler had talent and potential to win more than 80 games, and they could never pass 82. And it was just, or 81. And it was so frustrating. And then he goes to San Francisco, has one great year, and then has two crappy years, and it ultimately gets fired again. So it's just like, I don't want to see the Eagles go through that again, and Nick Sirianni needs to, get out of here and feel the game, make those, game-altering decisions as a coach with nothing but how the game feels and not what the analytics are telling me from the front office, what I'm hearing in my headset. You should be able to watch the game and say that this is the right decision. Given that the offense is struggling, let's kick the field goal, get them some more momentum. I understand going for it on fourth down. You believe in your team, but you have to be better in certain situations. Take the points early. You go for it later in the game, not to start the game. Even if you're trying to set the tone, just get points on the board and make the other team panic a little bit. That's how it should always be, in my opinion. Let me know how you guys feel about Goddard and his comments about sticking with Nick Sirianni and believing in him. Do you believe in Nick Sirianni? All of that stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when I make my weekly picks. Fly Eagles fly. Go Phillies. We're NL East champions for the first time in 13 years. It is such a good feeling. I had to let that out. I'll see you all tomorrow.